Welcome to another episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sady. Joining me today is a woman that proves you can actually have it all, Cleo the Hurricane.
Oh, Natalie. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, hello, guys.
You actually do have it all. I know you laugh every time I say it, but you have an incredible career, you have a successful marriage, and you have a child. Like, that's women trying to have it all.
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh, God. Do I? I mean, I'm just living my life, doing what I love.
You are. And doing what you love started with pole dancing.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to ask the first question. Are you a stripper?
Oh. No, I'm not a stripper.
But that's the first thing that everybody that pole dances gets asked.
I've never been asked that.
Haven't you?
No.
My own grandfather asked.
Really?
Yeah, he was, he knew I had a pole in my living room, and I've never, let's just make it very clear, I've never competed at the level that you do. I have always just done it for my own fitness and well-being, but he knew that I had the pole in the house. He knew I was going to classes, and one time when he was in hospital, I left because I said, I have a dance class.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, have fun. And as I walked out, he said to my sister and cousins, is she a stripper? And they all said, no, she's not.
Maybe my family have talked amongst themselves and asked, but I don't think anyone's ever asked me.
I feel that as much as the pole community tries to push people away from that stigma, it is just there. And some people, regardless of what you show them, what you tell them, it's just going to be there. And I wasn't sure if you competing at the level that you have ever encountered it.
I think I live in a bubble, and maybe it's because I don't really care what people think, but to me, pole dancing is what it is, and that's just what's in my head.
Yeah.
So I love my bubble.
Well, it sounds like it's a fun place to be.
And honestly, when I see other people like talk on Facebook about the same thing, like how, you know, their family is disgusted, or some people said something to them and we're not sluts and we're not whatever, I think, does that really happen?
No, I have trained with friends, and when I've posted videos, because if we've done a Christmas showcase for the studio that we've been at, people have said, don't tag me because of work, or my family don't know, or I have children, and I always say, but shouldn't they support everything that you do? But going back even further, you actually did ballet when you were younger.
I did. I did it up until I was about 16.
Oh, you did it for that long?
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it. My parents made me go.
Okay.
And I used to run away when I had class.
Really?
Yeah, I did not want to do it.
Where would you go?
To the park.
Oh my God. So you just so that you didn't have to be there?
Yeah, or I hid in the tree in the backyard.
Oh my God, I love that.
So bad. I just hated it.
Oh, see, as an adult, I went back to do ballet classes to try and work on my extension, because just through my, sort of around where my knees are, it's as if I can't straighten them. And it's so tough. I kind of wish my mum had forced me to do it when I was younger.
Now I would totally do it for exercise because it's amazing. But back then, like when I was a teenager, it was just not cool. Like I just wanted to play the drums and be in a band, and I just thought it was like the lamest thing in the world. Putting on this pink leotard and putting your hair in a bun, like, blah.
Well, anyone that follows you would know that it's the antithesis of what you are. It's just, you're not that kind of girl. You'll put a leotard on, but it'll be black or red.
Yeah, I've got one on now.
You certainly do.
It's actually going right up my bum too.
Oh, is it?
And it goes about up here, nice and high cuts.
80s, welcome back. I've got some swimsuits like that.
Cool.
I love them. So you were actually Miss Pole Australia twice, and you competed on the world stage?
No, I was supposed to. I think I was supposed to do 2 world comps, but I didn't do them because I don't remember what the reason was. I thought one was kind of lame, and the other one I had to wear no shoes, and I was like, fuck that.
Well, why? Again, I've never competed, but I've always preferred dancing in shoes. I don't see the point, because for me, part of the joy of it all, apart from pushing your body to do all the acrobatic feats that, especially when you start training at 25 or 30, we shouldn't be able to do, but we do.
Yeah.
What's the point if you can't play dress-ups at the same time?
You know, the only reason why I do pole dancing, or the reason why I started, was because of the heels.
I'm the same.
And I can't practice by myself or in a studio without my heels on. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point? Like,
no, I totally get it. I have a collection. I think I've got 10 pairs of heels.
yeah.
But at the moment at home, I can't because I have neighbours downstairs.
No, that's totally fair enough.
And it kills me, but I'm the same. If I go to a studio, and even when I was teaching and I was teaching girls who weren't comfortable wearing shoes, I would say, that's fine. I'm putting on shoes.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about putting on these 7-inch heels, 8-inch, 10-inch now, which is popular.
I've never tried the 10.
Me neither.
I will die.
I'll stick with my 7s. But it just transforms you into, you know, you look longer, you look taller, makes me feel so much better, makes me want to, you know, dance and
I always felt watching videos, I always looked more dynamic in what I was doing. Because if I trained the same trick with no shoes and then shoes, didn't matter that the ability was still the same and they were filmed 5 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Shoes just seemed to just make everything pop a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it makes it easier. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a mental thing because I feel better about myself. And, you know, it just makes me look, in my opinion, I look better with heels dancing.
There's one trick I can't do in heels.
What's
It's my
that?
nemesis, handspring. I feel, and I know it's psychological because the shoes actually don't weigh a lot,
Yeah.
but I feel as if they're weights on my legs and I just can't get my legs over my head. I don't know why. It is something I have to work on.
Definitely. Natalie?
Now, one of the questions I have always been dying to ask you about,
Yes.
in I think it was 2016,
Yeah.
you released a video of yourself dancing while 8.5 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And it made worldwide headlines.
Yes, it did. I didn't expect it. Yeah.
Well, because I'd been dancing just for fitness at that point for a number of years. I knew who you were. I knew who all the big players in the pole community were. I had still never seen a reaction to any pole dancing video like there was with yours. And there were people that thought it was amazing, and then there were people that absolutely tore you apart.
Yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, you're pregnant, you're hormonal.
Well, honestly, you know how I said that I have been living in a bubble? I'm back in the bubble, by the way.
Okay, great.
Yeah, which is awesome. That was the first time that I kind of looked outside of the bubble and saw all these negative comments, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I actually got really upset, so I'm not going to lie. And I started questioning myself.
Okay.
And I had to stop reading them. But then you can't help it, right?
It's human nature. We do, because
Yeah.
I did the same thing on The Bachelor. We had been told not to look at anything on social media, and for the first 3 weeks I did.
Yeah.
I don't suffer depression. I never have. I was a mess on my couch under a blanket, non-functional, because of the horrible things people said. And then I got to a point where I said, stop reading this. It's actually not good for you. And it's not even about you. I think it's often about people and their insecurities and you know, whatever they've got going on. And so when I stopped reading it, all of a sudden life was great again.
So what really got to me was when someone wrote, if I was that baby and I grew up and saw that video, I'd want to kill myself. So that comment really, really got to me. That was the one that did it for me. I was like, then I started to think about my child. Like, if it was just aimed at me, I'd be like, whatever, fuckheads, like, you know. But yeah, then I was like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't have danced in heels. What if I shouldn't have done that split? And then I spoke to my doctor and he goes, what's going to happen? You do a split, you think the baby's going to split in half? Like, seriously? So.
And I mean, you've been a world champion competing or Australian champion, but you've performed around the world. You've even performed with Guns N' Roses, which we will come back to.
Yeah.
But you've done all of these things. The reality is, your son being born is going to know all of this and think that his mum is freaking the coolest.
You know, any time a pole dancer comes over to shoot product or to shoot tutorials, John just gets so excited. He loves all the girls.
Yeah.
He loves them, you know, and they all love him. Like, he's going to have the best life.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
All the boys are going to want to come and hang out at your house because that's where all the action happens.
Exactly.
So because I knew we were sitting down, I had gone through some stories online and was reading it. Majority of the reporters that I saw talking about it were just kind of, I don't know, I don't think they even knew how to react. It was more the comments underneath, and I was horrified. And when I was reading them, I actually thought, what is wrong with you that you're so closed off about this?
Yeah.
And also unaware, because when they're talking about the damage that you're going to do to your child, just physically, it's well known that women who are fit, it's more than healthy, and they should continue to be fit during their pregnancy. Yeah. Just as women who have done no exercise should not pick up exercise once they're pregnant, because that could cause harm. Yeah. It's what your body is used to. And you didn't actually do any tricks. You sort of danced around.
Like, I stopped doing tricks after 5 months. I took my doctor's advice. And that video that went viral, like, I did a baby belly rub, which I think is like the coolest move ever.
So cute.
I did a split and I did a head roll. And I did some sexy grinds.
Yeah.
Like, how is that risking my child?
This is the whole thing. And
I know. And I was, 8 months or 8.5 months pregnant when I did that routine. But it was like stuff that I did at home anyway, you know?
Pregnancy is hard for women. I know women that have gone through pregnancy and hated their bodies.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they look beautiful. Yeah. Some of them are tiny. They don't put on much weight. And from the back, you wouldn't know. Other women put on considerable weight. I know a girlfriend, for the American viewers, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk in kilos, not pounds, but a girlfriend of mine put on 30 kilos with each of her pregnancies. Yeah. And she's a tiny, tiny girl the rest of the time, but they hated their bodies. And so to watch someone embracing their pregnant body, and I mean,
I was just having fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to feel good about myself. Like, I did not feel good about myself being pregnant. Like, I had to go to hospital because I was constipated. Like, how embarrassing is that? Like, you know.
Childbirth is a wonderful thing,
isn't it? Oh, my God, yeah. So I just had to do something to make me feel good and have fun. And it did. Like, I had a ball. And all the selfies that I took in a schoolgirl outfit saying, stay in school, kids. You know,
love it.
Come on. It's
and
just
the policewoman
fun.
Writing the ticket, that was my favourite. But when I was searching for your video, I found a heap of other pregnant pole dancing videos. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, I've never heard of these before or since your video. I don't know what it is about yours that really hit home with people. But these women were up the pole doing tricks. They were upside
doing
down.
INXs,
And look, I'm not a doctor, but all of my friends have said that as soon as their abs started to separate to allow for the child to sort of grow out, they were advised to stop doing anything with ab strength and all of that. I don't understand how these women are doing this. And as women, we know our own bodies and we know how far we can push ourselves. But that to me was a little bit more shocking, only because I'm like, how can you do that?
Yeah, I agree.
You never tried to go upside down?
No, I stopped, like I said, after 5 months to go upside down.
So you've never talked about this publicly because you had agreed to go on a talk show to discuss the sort of controversy around the video, and you went into labour.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It was almost like the universe saying to you, you know what, you don't need to say anything.
Yeah, I even had like a full set of makeup on and fake eyelashes, and I was like, nah, it's not going to happen.
Oh my God. Well, because John was there saying, this is about to happen instead.
Yeah.
Now, so moving on to, because let's not worry about any more about what other people think.
Okay.
The empire that you've built for yourself.
Yeah.
So you start dancing, you make a name as Cleo the Hurricane.
Yeah.
And how do you end up dancing for Guns N' Roses?
Well, I think I just moved to LA and Guns N' Roses decided they wanted to have 4 pole dancers for their residency at a hotel in Vegas. And I think someone just asked me or maybe it was up on Facebook, I don't quite remember. And so 4 of us went to an audition and all 4 of us got the job.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
So how long did you dance for?
I think it was for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was so happy it was over. I was so happy.
Well, I think the first time is always exciting, and then it's just work. It's just another day going to the office.
And we had to like backstage. We had to be in this small little tent that they nicknamed the kennel. So that was like eye roll. And
a boy named that.
And you know, I had short hair at the time. Like I just cut my hair short, and I think it was blue underneath. I had blue bangs, and I had to wear this long black wig. And I remember one night I was so hot. It was so hot, and I took the wig off in the kennel. Took the wig off, and I got in trouble. I got in trouble for taking the wig off. They can't see you like that. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm hot. They can see me the way that I am.
And can I say, when you're doing what you do on a pole, no one's looking at your hair.
It's
like,
true.
they're actually not.
Yeah.
They're looking at the incredible feats of what your legs and body can do. Because I've been training for 10 years, and there's still so much that I cannot do. And at what point did you start selling merchandise? Did it start with clothing, or did it start with your DVD?
So, just before we get into that, I will say I did have a really great time with Guns N' Roses because they have been one of my favorite bands since I was like 12 years old. And to be on a pole and sing along to Rocket Queen with Axl, like, it was amazing. Just towards the end, it was like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Because I always worry. I remember seeing a post on Facebook of you saying, oh my God, a dream has come true, or something. I'm working with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And that was the post before anything else was announced.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh my God, that's amazing. But there's always that, it's a funny line where when you're meeting an idol or someone that you've looked up to, it could be amazing, and they could be everything that you thought that they were, or they could destroy it.
Let's just say that I don't really listen to them as much anymore. I mean, I still think, you know, 3 of their albums are legendary, and but I don't listen to them like I used to.
It's still an incredible milestone. It doesn't matter.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like you got to rock out on stage.
Exactly.
To Guns N' Roses with Guns N' Roses.
Exactly. Yeah. It was
Huge.
Awesome. It was awesome.
So back to the merchandise.
Yeah.
So where did it all start?
So I did Miss Pole Dance Australia, I think, in 2011, and I came second that year. And that's when I met Alethea Austin. So she asked me to go on tour with her to the States and Canada. And I was like, yeah. So she had T-shirts that she would sell at her workshops. So I decided, cool, that's a good idea. So I printed T-shirts and went on tour and would sell T-shirts that had I Love Rock and Pole on it. And they sold really well. And, you know, I always had in my mind that I wanted to do a DVD of my flex class because I got a lot of results. In this class, it was all about working out and stretching to get your splits. And so I finished the tour and I started planning for that. And I filmed it and brought it out on DVD, and it sold so well. So it started from that, from touring, having T-shirts, to the DVD.
Your DVD, because I have done it before.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, but it's hard. It reminds me of Jane Fonda.
Well, I grew up on Jane Fonda.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, my mum used to have Jane Fonda on Beta. Remember Beta?
I do. I had it on VHS.
We had a Beta player.
Okay.
So, yeah, I used to do Jane Fonda with her all the time. So I grew up with her. And,
because I did it and it reminded me of Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
And a confession here, I actually went and downloaded the Jane Fonda DVD after that. I have a great time switching between the two. So good. But their workouts not yours, Jane Fonda's, has been discounted, you know, as something that was from the 80s.
Yeah.
It's a good workout.
They're amazing.
And that's why yours is so good.
It's based on dance techniques and body weight exercises. And they work. Like, they really work. I love them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We're almost out of time, but I have a couple of quick questions.
Yes.
And I don't think there's a quick answer to this, but we need to try and figure it out.
Okay.
How do you manage, because you have morphed this into this big business where you have heel bangers, you've got Cleo the Hurricanes label, and you've got all these different things going on, as well as your tutorial service online.
Yeah.
How do you manage all of that with a child?
So before I got pregnant, I had a plan. So I wanted to do the online subscription site, and I got that all done, and basically all processes into place. And so it was easy to run before I got pregnant.
Okay.
So the clothing does take up all my time. That's a full-time job. And I don't have my parents around. My mum lives in Australia and Mike's parents live in Arizona. So I don't really have a support structure. So I have an assistant / nanny, and I have people that help occasionally when I need it. And I manage it. And, you know, it's very, very challenging sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I can't cope. And sometimes I just curl up into a little ball and cry and want to sell my business and I can't do this. But that's not often. I started drinking coffee.
Okay, how's that going for you?
It's great.
I'm a big coffee addict.
Honestly,
it's my one weakness.
Yeah, I've always never liked coffee and I couldn't understand how anyone can drink coffee. But now that I've started, it's just like changed my life.
It's amazing. It is honestly so amazing.
Yeah.
But this is the whole thing. I think sometimes when you're in it, you don't see it, but I think it really does serve as an inspiration to so many women who are trying to juggle it all to see what you can do. And you have Cleo the Hurricane is your main work Instagram account, and we do have those details on the screen. But there's also Cleo the Working Mum, where you talk really honestly about all of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And your Insta Lives sometimes have me in stitches because there's no holds barred. You're not worried about...
I love Insta Live because you can be yourself. I feel people are too scared to be themselves on social media. So that's why I like doing those Insta Lives. And I just want to really show the real me. And honestly, like the reason why I have ultimately 3 businesses is because I do everything from home. Yeah. So I have a massive garage in my backyard that we built especially for it. And, you know, in the mornings, I'll just walk out there with my pajamas and, you know, get to work sometimes.
So that's perfect.
You'd think so, but, you know, I'd love to wake up in the morning and put on some makeup and get dressed and go to an office. And one day that will happen, but for now it is pretty amazing, and that's how I can do it because I work from home.
Well, see, I do a lot of work from home. So when I was stalking you, that was all done from home.
Yeah.
I love not having to shower first thing in the morning, and I sit there with my coffee and I can do it with one eye open, and I can kind of come to the world in a nicer way than sort of forcing myself to get in the shower, be in the car by a certain time and have to be somewhere. It's just, for me, it's nice to have that flexibility, and I imagine having a child, it takes a lot of the pressure off.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes, you know, if I'm editing videos, John will pull on me, come on, mama, come on, mama, come on, mama. So of course I've got to, you know, give him attention. And sometimes I'll put him on my lap and say, who's that? Amy. Who's that? Lindsay. And, you know, I try and, you know, get him to have fun while I'm editing the tutorials, but it does take double the amount of time. But it's cool,
But the trade-off is so worth it.
Exactly.
So last question. What is something that all the people that follow you would not know about you that you could share with them? I like to put people on the spot.
I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, which is
a
really small island in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Oh my God, how did you end up in Australia? My
parents migrated when I was 10 or 11.
So you have memories of living there?
Of course. All my whole extended family are there. My grandmother,
We need to talk more about this, but we're out of time, so we'll do that off camera.
Hence, that's why my brand is so colourful and vibrant.
Oh my God, there you go. Cleo, thank you so much for making the time. I know how busy you are, and I really appreciate you coming down and speaking to us. That's this episode of Sadie Says. Until next time, I'm Natalie Sady.